Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated, backyard superstar, Tim Vicious. And talking about this week's Raw, it was the Go Home Raw before SummerSlam. Now, before I go into that, want to get into one thing. It's kind of a big deal to me because, you know, something I've been looking at for a while. It's everyone already knew, but they just officially announced today that WWE has officially signed Kevin Steen. So huge congratulations on that part to Steen on that, even though he did block me on Twitter, whatever reason, I don't know. But yeah, Kevin, he's a fantastic wrestler. Really looking forward to seeing him in the ring. You got Steen, Kenta, Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, Prince Devitt. Those 5 guys alone could make a show. So yeah, NXT is looking pretty sweet right about now. Anyways, on with this week's Raw. It was the Go Home Raw for SummerSlam. It was a good Raw, especially considering that they didn't give it the Go Home show feel. You know, it may have been because that they hyped up that it was Hogan's birthday, but hey, I don't know. Either way, Raw started out, Heyman and Lesnar coming out. Heyman cutting quite possibly one of the best promos of the year. You know, how often do you see a 49-year-old fat Jewish guy go into a rap on the middle of a wrestling show? I ask you. That's on how it wound up becoming great. Aside from that, he brought up great, amazing points on Brock, saying on how when Brock was just a rookie in WWE, he took out The Rock, and then we didn't see from The Rock until 6 months later. When Brock wound up going up against Hogan, didn't see Hogan until a year later. And last time Cena fought Lesnar. Lesnar was only at 50% because he was still recovering from diverticulitis, and I absolutely loved it that they brought that up, you know? It gives that sense of reality and showing that, you know, even though he is a beast, he still is human, you know? And even though that was the only reason why Cena won, this time Brock's coming at him at 100%. And of course, they also highlighted Brock being the one behind the one in 21 and 1. Really that much of a surprise there? You know, but wound up saying that they're going to go out to eat. I suspect they went to Jimmy John's. I'm not 100% certain. I'm more of a Subway guy myself, personally. I throw Subway down almost as much as Colt Cabana does. But, hey, they don't give me a sweater or nothing like they give him. Subway, you're on the call. It's your call now. Send me a sweater. Look for me on Twitter. Anyways, they wind up going into the first match. Roman Reigns doing a handicap match. Big thing that wound up confusing me at first was the video of Reigns, you know, gearing up, strapping up, and getting ready in the back. And then he walks out through the crowd. You see, that just didn't make sense to me because he's in the locker room with the boys and he's willing to go and sit there to get ready. But when it's time to walk out, he says, no, I'm not going to go through the... No, I'm going to walk out through the same way you all do. I'm going to go through there. You know, it doesn't make sense with that. I mean, when they were the Shield, they were always in a damp, dark area, like the basement of the building, so it kind of made sense. Like they were isolated and they were outcasts, you know? But, yeah, the next part of it that confused me was we saw the resurrection of Corporate Kane, which, yeah, really made no sense to me whatsoever. You know, I mean, no, last week they had Kane take his mask off, give it to Hunter and Steph, and, you know, me personally, I was hoping that since a photo got leaked out for what Kane's going to look like in See No Evil 2, we were going to get Kane coming out there looking something like that. You know, have it go from now until the movie's released to help build it up. And instead we didn't. We got Corporate Kane again, who, you know, looks like a spokesman for Men's Warehouse, because you'll like the way you look. He guarantees it, or he'll choke slam you to hell. Anyways, Reigns' match, it was a handicap match versus the biggest part that confused me. Rybacksel. Yeah. Honestly, Reigns looked bored about 90% of the time, 90% of the match and yeah, I couldn't make heads or tails on why they decided to do that, because yeah, I'll tell you right now, Reigns won by a DQ. They were outside, and Ryback and Axel threw him into the ring post, and then the ref called for the bell, which kind of made no sense to me, because I know from, as a tag team guy, you know, you're going to have tag team moves. You know, you're going to do some double team moves. And that just didn't make any sense. Why call for a quick bell ring right there? Why not have it go into a count out? Have Ryback or Axel slug it out with Reigns, and the other guy trying to jump in, Reigns, wham, knock him down, and then go back to slugging, and then lead to a count out. That way, it's a double DQ. Reigns still comes out looking strong, and it still adds. But anyways, after the match, Reigns wound up clearing house, took them both down, and then walked out. Next matchup, Rollins versus Rob Van Dam. Supposed to have this last week, but instead we got Heath Slater, main event Raw, which I think was a first. And, you know, this was a good match. Van Dam, he hit all his normal high spots. He didn't do anything really different to wow me, you know, and I've been complaining on that for a while. Van Dam needs to start doing something to, you know, draw people's attention again, you know, instead of just coming out there, pulling out the same spots, and, you know, stop doing the whole airbrush singlet and Rob Van Dam thing. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that's your catchphrase, just like mine's often imitated, never duplicated, but you don't see me going around waving it around constantly like Rob is. But anyways, how the match wound up coming to an end, I didn't expect it to come out this way. Seth wound up winning what it was. Seth wound up getting an Irish whip into the corner. Van Dam, he got him. He went to go and do one of his normal spots, run, and then land on the guy, go do a monkey flip. He pulled back. Rollins held onto the rope, so Van Dam, wham, fell flat on his back, rolled around. Rollins hit the ropes, and then curb stomped him. Next thing you know, Rollins got the 1, 2, 3, and he started walking away. He got up to the apron where all the gifts for Hulk Hogan's birthday party later that night are, and he's just looking like, is Dean Ambrose around? My Ambrose senses are tingling. Nah, he's probably off going being a titty master. And then next thing you know, you just see Ambrose rip through the big giant box and then just go to town on Rollins. And yeah, it was nice. And Ambrose wound up getting in the ring, cut a quick promo saying that, you know, he's going to kick his ass on Sunday, and for $9.99 he is so getting his money's worth. And that was beautiful. I liked that. The way he did that, it was good. Yep, it was nice. Yeah, and next matchup, it was Cesaro versus Swagger, and it felt kind of like a little late in the game to do that kind of match, because, especially considering they already broke up, and yeah, it's trying to resurrect a dead feud with no backstory on it now. It's kind of pointless, you know. And if anything, Cesaro's now coming off looking pretty weak ever since he wound up ever since he dropped being a Paul Heyman guy. I'm starting to worry that being a Paul Heyman guy is starting to come off more as a curse than a blessing, you know, anymore. Because right after someone drops himself from being Heyman, they either quit job or become the tag team jobbers. And yeah, so far the only one that's still a current Paul Heyman guy is at the top of the mountain because again, he's the one behind 21-1. Yeah, but the Swagger Cesaro match, it was very good. It was very good, very nice, tight. I liked it. It was, you know, Swagger wound up getting the win, way I definitely didn't expect. Cesaro wound up doing a double stomp on him, you know, especially with Swagger selling he's got messed up ribs, and, you know, trust me, I've had broken ribs, and when you get hit with them, you know, even if you get something as simple as like a high five, you know, kind of brush up against them, man, that does hurt. But yeah, Cesaro, he did a double stomp. Swagger sold it beautifully, but then rolled around, wham, locked in the ankle lock. Cesaro tapped out. Very nice, very beautiful. Next thing you know, right as Swagger and Zeb are standing in the middle of the ring, doing "We the People," holding Old Glory, and, you know, hyping up the flag match, which I kind of am looking forward to. I think that they should, you know, start rehashing some more of the old school gimmick matches instead of doing like so much more of these new ones. Like, instead of doing so many triple threats or fatal four ways, you know, start throwing some more random old school ones, you know. But yeah, right as they were in there doing that, boom, Rusev's music hit and the Russian flag dropped. Next thing you know, you see Lana and Rusev just standing at the apron, and then they cut the commercial, which pissed me off to no end, because really, you want to go to commercial right when Lana's coming out. You want to talk about teasing. I mean, for crying out loud. Yeah. Next match, it was AJ versus Ava's Got Herpes, and I'm not even going to lie. I was in the bathroom the entire time. Doing a little spring cleaning, so to say, thanks to some Miralax, while this match was going on. Thank God for DVR, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, I didn't miss nothing. So nothing to report there. You know, the biggest disappointment on that was Ava's Got Herpes won, and really, I'm pretty sure they just gave her that win just because Bayley made her walk into the back crying like a little baby in NXT. Which, by the way, Bayley, good job. I ever see you, I am so giving you a hug. Yeah. And next match we're supposed to have is Steph versus Bree, because Steph wound up calling out Daniel, her husband, Daniel Bryan's physical therapist, and I know this was all just one big giant promo segment, just cut into two different parts, and I like I said, I don't normally talk about promos unless it's something important. I felt it is, so I'm bringing it up. You know, and wound up bringing in Daniel's physical therapist, who is really nothing more but is nothing more but an indie wrestling girl. And, you know, honestly, if you're going to use an actor for this kind of skit, you know, don't use one that is openly active on Twitter, because, you know, she was throwing out tweets left and right a few days beforehand. Real easy to find her, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people wound up ribbing her and was poking at her, saying like, oh yeah, you're a real physical therapist, alright, you know, and that's why you were doing a show here at this day. You know, things like that. But, yeah, she was saying that she had an affair with Daniel Bryan, which I thought was kind of funny, because I thought the Bella, I know she's named after a cheese, like Provolone, I'll call her for right now. Pretty sure Provolone or Gouda, or whichever one she is, was the only kind of girl that was attracted to Bryan, not making a knock on Bryan, just saying long hair, long scraggly beard, just, I just don't see that many girls going for that kind. But anyways, supposed to be into a match. They come out, you know, Mozzarella's in the ring. Next thing you know, Stephanie's at the apron saying, well, you beat her up, and that's assault, and she's pressing charges. And, they wound up arresting her like they did with Steph, and that was pretty good. It helped build with the feud, And personally, I think they should do a little more time before they actually give these two an actual one-on-one match. Maybe not at Night of Champions, because that's the night that's supposed to be for the titles. Maybe at the one after that, at Hell in a Cell, just something like that. But yeah, next matchup, Dolph versus Heath Slater, and for some odd reason, you got The Miz, who likes to now proclaim, I'm The Miz, and I'm the ball bag. I mean, my face is a ball bag. I mean, his face is a moneymaker. Is literally standing, I kid you not, standing on the commentating table. If not on the table, then on a chair behind the table. The whole time talking about on how the Intercontinental title is just a prop for him, which, really, you want to talk about insulting a fucking title. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into winning 2 tag team titles and winning our own hardcore heavyweight title. I put that kind of work in. That was never a prop. That was a sign of showing I busted my ass and earned that. You want to go and pull off this actor bit, that's all well and good. But do not go and say that that is a prop and that is just to help make you look good. Seriously. Anyways, he was there trying to go and build up heat on the mic, and someone decided to cut Miz's mic off halfway through, which I thought was hilarious and best botch of the night. And wound up doing that. He wound up climbing down, got on the apron. Ziggler went to go swing at him. Miz ducked down, started chasing after Miz. Got halfway up the apron, and just as he was running back, it hit 0 and lost by a countout. So now Slater's now, I think, 5-0, which, or something like that. Which, I'm pretty happy that they're giving Slater a push because, need to have more of an emphasis on mid-card guys, And this isn't me saying I'm fully behind everything the guy did, but Vince Russo had the right kind of an idea when he did bookings during the Attitude Era, because he would make the fans just as drawn in and care about the mid-card guys like the Zack Ryders, the Heath Slaters and all, and the Dolph Zigglers, just as much as we would care about the John Cenas, the Brock Lesnars, and the Steve Austins and all. Maybe we cared for some guys more than others, but the point being, we wanted to see because of, okay, I want to see this match with these two guys, but I'm staying to watch the show because of these guys, Next matchup, it was Randy Orton versus Sheamus, and the big thing with this was, this kind of had me nervous because of the fact of last time Orton and Sheamus wound up doing a match on TV, the crowd wasn't behind it, and they wound up getting booed like crazy, but this was a really good match. I was happy for it, it's a big thing I noticed that Randy did that was a little different was, instead of just having the wrist tape around the wrist like here, he had it around here and over his hand. Why? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to add to him, saying that he's taping his hands up because he's going to be doing more brawling and swinging fists, things like that, but I don't know. Either way, it was a good match. Wound up coming to an end. Sheamus went up to the top rope to go do that battering ram he does, and just as he's in the air, Orton, right out of nowhere, wham, hit an RKO on him, just like he did with Evan Bourne when Evan went to go do that airborne on him. And that was really good. I know I always give Randy crap, but, you know, I give credit where credit's due. That was good, and they both did a good match, so thank you guys on that one. And now we're coming to the closing segment of the night with Hulk Hogan's birthday. You got the whole locker room out at the entranceway. I was hoping that they were going to have Great Khali sing Happy Birthday to you, sing the Happy Birthday song to Hogan like they did with Cena. Sadly, we didn't see it. But Jimmy Hart and Gene Okerlund were in the ring. They called Hogan out. Next thing you know, they called out his guests, and everyone wound up getting Dick Flair, and we all know where I stand in regards to him. We got Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, which, you know, it was pretty cool to see him, you know, especially coming out with his twirled mustache, you know, with his small thin I'm so cool I can have a mustache like Zeb Coulter kind, you know, having one of the girls, I don't know, he went over, he's like, come on, put one right there, baby. Alright, yeah, that's it. Good. You know, having that, and I don't know about anyone else, but me, the first thing I thought of right off bat when Paul Orndorff's music came out was, oh God, somebody call the psychic hotline. And if you don't understand that reference, look it up. WCW, Paul Orndorff, psychic hotline. I don't know what you got to do to look it up, but trust me, you will laugh on it. And then they wound up getting Hall and Nash coming out with the NWO music. I liked that part, or no, not before Hall and Nash, Rowdy Piper came out, and you know, everyone was just like, Piper, oh man, you know, because everyone knows the rivalry they had, you know, and it was a really good one, you know, the Hogan Piper rivalry, you know, the closest you could get to that in modern day times, as far as what comparisons go, would be the John Cena and CM Punk rivalry between them two, you know, but I digress. Moving on. Piper came out, and then Hall and Nash came out. They got in the ring. Hall had the mic. Hey, yo. We're going to take a little survey. Brother, you look good in that red and yellow. Would you like to see Hogan wearing that red and yellow? Or would you like him to see him wearing the black and white, showing some love for the NWO? And I know I misquoted that god awfully. Just please bear with me, you know. But next, you know, Hogan teared that, had on an NWO shirt, wound up throwing up Too Sweet. Really cool. It was good seeing that, and everyone's all there, smiles and laughs, and then bum 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 bum. Brock Lesnar's music blah, hits, and he's coming down, and everyone just has that oh crap look on them, and you know, next, you know, Lesnar just has the mic, looks at Hogan, says, "Party's over, Grandpa," which, turnbuckle tees, I really hope you guys make a Hulk Hogan themed shirt that says "Party's over, Grandpa." Or a Brock Lesnar themed shirt that says that. Either way. And they want, you know, and then you just see the stare down. Cena, he comes down, you know, takes off his shirt, the wristbands, all that, and then he's just staring at Lesnar like, alright, come on, come on. And then Lesnar just has that smile, goes through the ropes, walks away. That's heel 101 right there, you know. Good way, that was textbook psychology right there, you know. And in the immortal words of Paul Heyman, Brock doesn't fight for free. So, you know, it makes sense on why Brock was just like, oh, you know what? I ain't got to take you out now. You know, it makes sense on that part. And I definitely liked it with the way they ended the show. Because, you know, I mean, you had barely had both guys, you know, you had both guys hyping up their matches, but you didn't have to have them face to face at each other doing it, which was really good. And I definitely liked that. and SummerSlam this Sunday. I know I'm definitely watching it. Hoping y'all are also. And, oh, that's all the time that we got for this week's episode. So, like I always tell you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Make sure y'all look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I get put in Twitter jail every now and then. I am now finishing up my interviews with B. Rodden, Open Turnbuckle on TRN Talking Wrestling Network. Make sure y'all guys look for them on YouTube. They're also doing a deal on there. If they can hit 200 subscribers before SummerSlam, they will do a random drawing for a giveaway for an autographed Sting poster. Yes, Sting. So look for them. The TRN Talking Wrestling Network. You know, so I'll have a link for their channel in the description bar down below. So make sure y'all check them out either before or after you watch this video, whichever. But either way, make sure y'all watch this video. Also, make sure y'all follow all these cool ass cats right here on Twitter. Vicky Earls, who has her own YouTube channel. I am Danny Sunday. Monkey Morris, Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Axel's YouTube show, Axel's Analysis. It's a lot like this, but it's on NXT, so that means it's automatically better. And now that they got Steen on there, you might as well say that it's over. Wait for it. Over 9,000. There we go. I had to get that in. The Sunday segue. Kenny, absolutely love being on the show, man. Can't wait until I get back on there again. Sinfully Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Oliver Ben, Just a Stupid Mark. Make sure y'all check out Ollie Ben's and Masked Mark's TNA Turnaround. And of course, my client, who will be the new Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch, number 4 ever. Alright? And like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.